Last time on Falcon Radio Theatre.
Walt, what are we gonna do? Asteroids are coming down and hitting all around the studio.
And there's a huge tornado heading this way.
And there's an active volcano spewing lava from underneath Key Arena.
And dinosaurs are suddenly rising from the dead and eating people.
And they just announced the second season of Firefly.
Wait, really?
No, I just got caught up in all the excitement. Wait, that's the one you're not convinced about? Out of all of these?
Well, it did seem the most unlikely.
All of these things together can only mean one thing. It's the end of the world.
So the Mayans were right after all. They were just off by 6 months.
That's pretty good for having predicted this thousands of years ago.
Man, so this is how the world ends.
There was so much left to do.
Well, Dave, if I've got to go through the end of the world, at least I've got my best friend with me.
And me too.
Wait a minute. I heard this rumor a while back, some crazy conspiracy theory about the Space Needle actually being a spaceship on top.
Well, even if it's not true, at least we'll have a great view for the end of the world.
All right, let's go.
Let's get to the car.
Wow, we got here fast.
Yeah, there was surprisingly little traffic considering it was the end of the world and everything.
Well, we've got our view.
And I don't see any spacey-looking buttons. Well, I'm gonna go check the kitchen.
Oh, Betty's scrounging for cookies.
Hey, Walt, look what I found.
What? What is it?
Behind this cookie cabinet, controls of some kind.
Quick, hit some buttons.
Which ones?
All of them!
Hey, this is a zippy little spaceship. We got to the moon really fast.
That's usually my line.
Well, let's grab some spacesuits and walk outside.
Woohoo! I never thought I'd be walking on the moon, much less for the end of the world.
Hey, is that another spaceship coming down?
Yeah. Let's go say hi.
Wait a minute. That looks like Katelin and Kat.
Hey, look, it's Walter and Dave.
Nice spaceship. Where'd you guys get yours?
We found it.
Yeah, I hope the president doesn't need it.
So, what are we gonna do with the last 2 hours of air we have left?
Well, the cast's all here.
Yeah, we could run the show.
For whatever alien races are listening out there.
Mics?
I'm pretty sure these helmet mics will work. Scripts?
Nope, left them behind. We'll just have to do whatever old scripts we can remember. Vitamin waters?
I remembered to pack them. Although, I don't know how we're gonna drink them.
Darn, I was really looking forward to those.
Well, let's do it.
And now, the final episode of Falcon Radio Theatre.
Hello, everybody.
Hey guys, I'm David Matsui.
I'm Walter Lutsch.
Our special guest tonight is Katelin Tremonte.
Heyo.
And Kat Miller.
Hi there.
And
And there's lots of feedback.
And hopefully you can hear us over the feedback.
Yeah.
Which we're all hearing. So, thank you for joining us for our very last program. This will be the last broadcast of Falcon Radio Theatre. We've had a great run. And for tonight, we thought we'd rerun some of our favorite scripts from over our 2-season run, as well as finish up the last episode of our weekly serial. So, without further ado, we're going to run to the last episode of The Adventures of Stanley and Bubba.
3 weeks ago on The Adventures of Stanley and Bubba, in the midst of their final battle with an evil demon disguised as a lawn flamingo, Stanley, an ancient demon-hunting monkey, forced to pretend that he is a stuffed toy, and Bubba, a monk from a distant land trapped in the form of a Buddha statue, are on the verge of victory. But with Bubba's arm controlled by the flamingo, Stanley is trapped by his own friend. A mere squeeze of Bubba's stony grip away from death, Stanley gambles his life on his belief that his friend can overcome the demonic control of the flamingo. And now the conclusion. The Bead Quest, Part 6.
Stanley lunged. A sudden blur caught the little monkey by the throat. Bubba stared in disbelief at the sight of his own fingers tightly clamped down on the little monkey's throat. Off to the side, Bubba could see the demon smirking. Bubba shifted his gaze back to Stanley, tears springing to his eyes as he fought desperately for control of his arm, his fist, even his little finger. A look of shock and panic filled the struggling monkey's face. Then, fully realizing the situation, Stanley went limp in Bubba's grip. A look of deep trust now settled on Stanley's face as he stared back at Bubba. But now the evil voice of the pink demon had entered the monk's mind and whispered at him to squeeze the last breath out of Stanley. It had been the monkey who had made Bubba lose the beads. It had been Stanley's fault the plan hadn't been working. It was all Stanley's fault. Bubba started to feel his grip tightening. Then he heard another voice. It was very faint, but focusing hard, Bubba managed to hear a slight chattering. A chattering that had cried out when Bubba had foolishly fought on his own. A chattering that spoke of an ally who'd saved Bubba and embraced him when he'd finally come out of his slump. A chattering that, as he listened, he realized was being spoken in his own native Chinese, and it said,
I believe in you, my friend.
It was that chattering Bubba chose to listen to. Struggling, he used his good arm to try and pry open his fist, but it wasn't working. The power of the evil flamingo flowed through the arm, and the demon controlled, making it far stronger than usual. Sweat mixed with rain as Bubba quickly glanced from his arm's struggle to Stanley's face. The little monkey was staring calmly back at him, but the monk could tell Stanley was struggling to breathe. He redoubled his efforts, keeping his gaze locked with his friend, shutting out the now commanding voice of the demon. Slowly, ever slowly, he began to slow the tightening of his grip. He could feel the demon glaring at him, exerting more of its power as it fought with him, but he refused to look away from Stanley's eyes. In them, he saw more than trust, more than hope, but something else, a certainty, a confidence. Bubba felt a rush of pride. Despite all that had happened, despite their earlier failure, despite the desperate situation, Stanley gazed back at him with a look of impatience that Bubba had not defeated the flamingo yet. Bubba began to laugh, a deep rumbling laugh, and squeezed in a stony grip, Stanley too began to chatter in amusement. Fueled by the amusing distraction of Stanley waiting impatiently for Bubba to hurry up and thrash the demon, the monk began to feel his fist open.
No, you are mine to command. Crush him!
Bubba continued to laugh, and centimeter by centimeter, his fingers began to slide apart. Suddenly, before the monk would have expected there to be enough room, Stanley wriggled from Bubba's grasp and landed on the ground, dazed and sore, but immediately in a fighting stance. Now Bubba turned toward the flamingo, fighting to bring his arm to his side. The creature glared at the two of them, before focusing his beady gaze on Bubba alone.
Take your small victory, monk. I do not need to control you to defeat you.
The puffbird began stalking forward, waving its beak in front of it, ready to strike. Bubba glanced to his right to find Stanley had disappeared. With no time to wonder where his friend had gone, he readied himself to fight the demon. Then, out of nowhere, Stanley hurled himself at the creature, wrapping his furry body around the flamingo's neck and scratching furiously at its head. As he scratched away, trying to avoid the creature's sharp beak, Stanley swiped his claws at one of the creature's glaring eyes. Screaming in pain and fury, the creature whipped its slender neck around violently. Stanley was sent crashing into the fence. Bubba started to move in his friend's direction, but when he saw the little monkey rise, Stanley's face was covered in scratches, splattered with mud patches, but underneath a rage glowed from his eyes, a rage Bubba had never seen on the monkey's face before. Turning back to the glaring creature, now blind in one eye, Bubba tried to think of a way to banish the creature. It was too fast for the only attack sufficiently strong enough to destroy it, and without the beads, Bubba could not hold it in place. Stanley, we must withdraw. Even with the use of my arm, I cannot think of any way to defeat...
Ascend.
But how?
Go.
I hope you know what you are doing, monkey. As the rain fell ever quicker, Bubba shook his head, but he trusted his friend. He began to rise into the air, glancing down only once to see the creature watching him, bemused, and to see that Stanley had once again disappeared. No longer surprised by the sudden twist, Bubba looked towards the heavens, letting the rain wash his stone skin. All around the rain fell, and Bubba held himself in midair, higher above everything, enjoying the peacefulness of it for a second before giving himself over to gravity. Falling, a deafening wind screamed in his ears as he looked down, and he could see the creature beneath him. Bubba's heart rose, hoping that he would get his finishing move against the creature, but with an insolent grin, the creature darted to the left, towards the fence. Bubba's shoulders fell. He wouldn't be able to change the course quickly enough to reach the creature. A sudden blur now caught Bubba's eyes. It was Stanley. But what was he doing? The little monkey hurled himself at the creature. In mid-flight, Stanley swung backwards so that he was flying towards the creature tail first, his stomach towards the sky. Catching the creature unaware, Stanley's tail flicked to life and wrapped itself tightly around the creature's neck. Then, as Bubba and the creature both stared in amazement, Stanley twisted his body, and using his remaining momentum, he yanked his tail hard to the right. With a power that could not have been foreseen by either Bubba or the flamingo, Stanley seemed effortlessly drag swing the demon 90 degrees around and drag him the few feet necessary to bring it right beneath Bubba as he fell. Bubba watched in awe as Stanley's tail flicked clear just as Bubba impacted the puffbird's thoroughly stunned face. A giant explosion of water and pink feathers flew out from where the stone missile had landed. After a minute, an arm emerged from the crater, and Bubba slowly climbed out. He was caked with dirt, soaked to the stone, but triumphant. He stared back down into the crater. A decimated pile of pink plastic filled the hole, the largest remaining piece being part of the head, its eyes staring vacantly up at Bubba. No soul resided in that body, or would ever again. Bubba said his final prayers for the thing as the overhead, the sun re-emerged, ushering in a restorative warmth. Looking up solemnly, he saw a battle-worn Stanley emerge from the bushes, where he had most likely landed after the explosion. Bubba, with a half-smirk, raised his thumb towards Stanley. In return, Stanley raised his thumb, a faint glint echoing from his hand. "What do you have in your hand there?" The smile faded from his face. It was the beads! Stanley grinned widely, now displaying them tauntingly. "Good monkey. Now just hand the beads slowly over to me. Come on now, Stanley, just give me the beads. Let's not play games here. Stanley!" Bubba, having slowly inched towards Stanley, lunged for the monkey. Stanley deftly dodged, laughing. Bubba chased Stanley around the yard for a while, before they both collapsed in a heap, still worn out from the battle. Huffing, Stanley looked over at Bubba, who was a foot away, and stared expectantly. Bubba sighed before he said, "I admit it, we won the battle without the beads, but instead with teamwork. Now, may I have my beads back, please?" Stanley tossed the beads back to Bubba. Bubba reached up and caught them easily with the hand that now had returned to normal. He gazed down at the string and its round stones. They were dirty from the mud, but even as they were, they remained more beautiful than he had remembered. "However, they are no longer my only ally. Let's go home, Stanley."
It has been several days since the evil Puffbird was vanquished, its evil spirit banished from this realm. Bubba and he have returned, for the most part, to their old activities. Stanley attempted to communicate with Dave yet again by leaving the entirety of the human's DVD collection sprawled across the sanctuary floor in the shape of Stanley's chosen name. But as before, Dave merely exclaimed in horror, blamed it on the poor craftsmanship of his bookshelves, and methodically returned the collection to its place. Bubba, on the other hand, has spent his time tearing through Dave's picture books, the ones written by the Japanese. Despite Bubba's Asian heritage, his Japanese has faded over the years. Stanley was enlisted to translate for a time, before the monkey became so disgusted by the trivial and ridiculous drivel he was translating that he quit after just one picture book. Bubba later admitted to him that even he was not very impressed with that particular book, but that others are better. In general, Stanley has returned to his customary chattering, only obliging Bubba by speaking Chinese when the monkey feels like it, though he did answer Bubba's question about how he spoke Chinese.
"I thought you said you could not speak Chinese."
"I never said I didn't. You assumed I didn't." Bubba's next inevitable question about his surprise attack on the flamingo that allowed them to win the fight, Stanley was hesitant to answer, but he felt he owed some explanation to his friend. "A part of powers that I have buried within me, never to be unlocked." A look of understanding had passed over Bubba's face, and the monk had not questioned him any further. Today, Stanley has resumed roaming the dwelling, and upon remembering the evil that resides in the place of food preparation, he asks Bubba for his help in destroying it. After assuring him that he no longer considers the beads a suitable weapon, Bubba agrees to help, and even suggests a new object to choke the kitchen demon with. Waiting until Dave has stepped out to retrieve his daily supply of colorful papers and thin paper boxes, the duo put their plan into action. Retrieving their new weapon, Stanley holds it firmly in his paws and stands upon Bubba's bald head as the monk levitates him up to the level of the flat, shiny surface upon which food is sometimes prepared, although more often than not it is merely a repository for dishes. He waits for the Buddha to join him, before the two of them combine their strength and stuff the weapon into the maw of the creature. Shoving it as deep into its throat as they can, Stanley hops back onto Bubba as they float together to the mystical lever that awakens this beast. Reaching out as they approach, Stanley flips it, and the two of them zoom quickly back to Bubba's picture box.
Just as he returned from the mailbox, Dave looked up in surprise as he heard an ungodly roaring, ripping, squealing sound coming from the kitchen. Racing past Bubba the Buddha and the monkey, he sprints to the kitchen.
"What the hell is my manga doing in the disposal?"
The end.
And that was the bead quest. The perspective and voice of Bubba the Buddha were portrayed by David Matsui, and the perspective and voice of Stanley the Demon Hunter, as well as the Flamingo, were played by Walter Lutsch.
And with that, we're going to go quick to a one last PSA from a friend of ours.
Hello, this is Stanley the Demon Hunter. While our stories are slightly over-dramatized, demons are a very real threat. Now, I've gotten a few more calls on the hotline alerting me to demonic writing in classrooms all over the country. I'd just like everyone to know that I've investigated these rumors, and those aren't demonic runes. They're calculus. And no, your math teacher is not a demon. And also, Annie from Wisconsin, I can't come and check under your bed for demons. That's a job for your parents. Now, if your father gets attacked when he looks under your bed, then let me know. Remember, if you see an actual demon, call 1-800-STANLEY kills all the demons. Thank you. Goodbye.
Remember, that's 1-800-72-6539-5455-84333-6667.
All right, we're back. For our next script of the evening, we've got Liberal Arts Pirates by Dwayne Yancey.
A guidance counselor meets with a student to offer career options.
Let's see here. We've got your test scores, transcripts. Oh, and these are the results of all of your aptitude tests. Interesting. Very interesting. We'll come back to those. So, well, I think we're ready then. Jeremy, is it? We're here today to talk about some of your career options. Now, let me ask you something I ask everyone who comes in for career counseling, and that is...
I want to be a pirate.
I beg your pardon?
I want to be a pirate.
A pirate?
Pirates, you know, the scourge of the seven seas, pirates. The bloodthirsty, walk the plank, eye patch, wearing parrot on his shoulder, Firecracker pirates.
I know what a pirate is.
So can you help me then? I've already got the earrings, see?
Yes, very nice. But I don't think that any of the big pirate companies are hiring right now, so perhaps we could...
Oh, that's okay. Pirates are very entrepreneurial. They're like technology startups. None of that corporate life for me, no siree. Too many rules, too many layers of management, stifles initiative. I'm going to be my own boss. Just run up the Jolly Roger and let's fly with the shot. Give no quarter, take no prisoners, that sort of thing. Unless, of course, there's ransom involved. Then I'll take prisoners. After all, I'm just in it for the money. That and the glory.
I see. Well, if we could move on to some more practical alternatives...
Oh, being a pirate is very practical. I mean, there is some capital investment involved. You need a bark, a hull, a tub, a ship. But if you're lucky, you could steal it. And then after that, your only real investment is your crew. And you could just scour just about any waterfront tavern and find enough scurvy dogs to put to sea for the promise of easy treasure. They're probably the ones that didn't go to career day, I bet.
No, probably not. Now, if we could just concentrate on
a nickname. I need a good nickname. Something catchy, something colorful, something that inspires respect for my friends, but puts fear into the hearts of my enemies. Do you think you could help me there?
Are you quite done?
A little overboard, huh?
Way overboard.
And not like man overboard, either.
Mm-hmm.
You mean like over the top overboard?
Mm-hmm.
I see. So, what do you have?
Well, there are the usual openings with some of the fast food chains.
Darn liberal arts degree.
Oh, and here's something with pizza delivery. And let's see. No, you're a bit overqualified for this one, and,
The end. That was The Liberal Arts Pirates by Dwayne Yancey. The part of the student was played by Walter Lutsch. The part of the guidance counselor was played by Katelin Tremonte. And the part of the narrator was played by Kat Miller.
Our next play of the evening is going to be Occupations by Dwayne Yancey.
British Airways Flight 157 for Salisbury, Rhodesia, and Johannesburg, South Africa, now boarding at Gate 23. British Airways Flight 178 for Dar es Salaam, with stops in Cairo and Nairobi, now boarding at Gate 24. Your attention, please. Will passenger J. Smith, flying on Royal Dutch Airlines, please report to the Heathrow Information Desk? Passenger J. Smith, please report to the Heathrow Information Desk immediately.
A man walks up to the desk in a new but ill-fitting jacket. When he reaches the desk, he drops down his suitcase.
What do you think of the jacket? I can't stand it. Takes some getting used to. Hate wearing any kind of suit. Probably haven't been this dressed up since I graduated from high school, and that's been, 77? I graduated in 66. So 11 years. Wouldn't wear it now, except they expect me to wear a jacket, and I have to when I get home, so I better have a jacket, you know? Gotta look the part, or at least look the part well enough to fake it, huh? When I tell him I was now an agribusiness security consultant? Yeah, that's it. An agribusiness security. Right. That sounds high and mighty, don't it? I'm a gold-dang mercenary, that's what I am. Why don't I tell them the truth and be done with it? I'm a hired gun. Kill people for a living, that's what I do. Try to keep the white farmers in Rhodesia from getting their heads blown off.
Meanwhile, in a Skid Row apartment in Nevada, Mary holds up a short black dress to her roommate.
What do you think? Does this make me look too loose? I mean, this is my nicest dress. I can tone it down some. No fishnets, no heels, go easy on the makeup. I don't want to be, what's the word, macabre or anything, but I guess I really should pack something black in case, the worst comes to worst. I mean, Mama's really not well, and the doctor said this latest round doesn't look good. So I guess I ought to be prepared. Still, a closet full of clothes and nothing decent to wear to church. How does that happen? Oh, I know how it happens. Face it, No, I'm not going to say that word. I refuse to use that word. I'll tell them what's someone who works to entertain people? Like at parties. Not a bartender. What's the word I'm looking for? The person who brings all the goodies. A caterer. Yes, that's it, a caterer. That sounds good, doesn't it? And it's not that far from the truth. Maybe not the whole truth, but at least it's not an outright lie. I don't like to lie, especially to my family. But I can't tell them the truth. It'd kill them. And it's not like what people think anyway. Well, maybe some of it is, but I don't mean that. I mean the people. This is all very high class. I like to think I provide a service. Heck, I do provide a service. Sometimes it's like being, like a shrink. Now, don't tell me that's not important. I mean, it's not like I'm killing people, or stealing from them or something bad like that.
Meanwhile, in a small jail just outside of Monroe, Billy changes out of a prison uniform into street clothes. A guard waits outside of his cell for a young man to change.
Yeah, thanks, man. You're not half bad, you know that? Yeah, you're all right. Don't know if I'll be seeing you again or not. Hope not, anyway. But you never know how the dice rolls, eh? Nah, it's okay. I got my own clothes here. What kind of suit is that, anyway? Jeez, that thing must be about 10 years old. You can keep it. Give it to the next guy. He might need it worse than me. All right, so you want me to change here? Just give me a little privacy, okay? What do you think I'm going to do? Steal your uniform? Jeez, what in the world would I want to do with that? No more out on the street for jail uniforms, man. Well, I guess I got out just in time this time, huh? Time to go watch my mother's die. That's a bummer. Guess they'd never let me out anyway, even if it's still been on the outside. I know they've done that for the guys before, let them out for funerals, if they got good time coming and all. But I hear they keep a deputy with you the whole time, sometimes even handcuffed together. That must be real embarrassing, shuffling by the casket with somebody looking at you.
He intimidates in a woman at the funeral talking about him.
Oh, she looks so natural. But did you see that no-good son of hers chained up like a common criminal? Well, he is a common criminal. Well, yes, I've heard that, but it was still a sorry sight to see. Yes, it was. Just a shame. It must have broken Hazel's heart, especially since both her other kids turned out so well. I hear Joe's working overseas somewhere, something military-related. And what's Mary doing? I heard she had her own business up in the city. Yes, I heard she was a caterer. Quite an expensive one, too, from what Hazel told me. So it must have really broken her heart when Billy turned out so bad. Oh, no, she had no idea about Billy. No idea? Hazel must have had some idea. How could you hide that sort of thing? Oh, no, he lived out of town, and I'm told he always made up some story about why he was going off for a while. Is that a fact? Well, that's what I always heard, and she always told them some story about what he was doing. What was it that he told me about him now? I can't remember now. An antiques dealer. That's what I am. An antiques dealer. We just won't mention that they're somebody else's antiques. Here, you can have these.
Billy tosses the uniform into the corner of the cell. Meanwhile, Joe continues to chat with the clerk behind the desk.
So it's not my fault, really. Not the way I see it. If I'm a killer, it's because my country wanted me to be one. Drafted right out of high school in '66. Heck, I wasn't even smart enough for any student deferment. Wasn't really one for the bookwork anyway. Pulled 2 tours of duty in the Mekong and in the highlands of Blair and Pleiku. To Dang Nang a couple times. And you know what? I enjoyed it. Not the mud and the regulations and the sheer stupidity of it all sometimes. But I got a real charge out of the danger of it all, Done a little hunting at home. Deer, squirrel, that kind of thing. So I thought I knew how to track something, how to shoot it. But I tell you, it's something else hunting. Again, to be hunting something that can shoot back at you. That's a real challenge. A kind of thrill, too. if you want to know the truth about it. Didn't realize how much I missed it till I got back. Heck, I couldn't find a job for one thing. Then the next thing you know, the Arabs had shut off the oil. You had gas lines stretching around the block. Unemployment and inflation were through the roof. There was nothing to be had. And one day I saw this ad in Sotra Fortune magazine. Said they were advertising for soldiers in a place called Rhodesia. Heck, I didn't even know what Rhodesia was, much less where it is or what it was going on there. Like I said, I was never one for the books in school. Sounded like some kind of made-up name to men. Which I guess is it. It is, in a way. Did some reading up on it and found it all I needed to know. One of them British colonies in the southern Africa. Except the Brits had cut them loose to fend themselves off. Now the blacks were trying to take them over. So they were looking for soldiers. Mercenaries, if you want to be honest about it. May as well call a spade a spade. Said the white farmers out in the bush needed protection from the terrorists, or tears as they call them. So I figured, what the heck? It was pretty good money. Didn't have to mess with nearly as many rules and regulations as a NAM. Plus it was a chance to show what I'd learned, what I could do. Besides, the people there at least spoke English, so it made the job easier too. Been there ever since. What's that? 74, 75, 76, 77, 4 years now. Not bad. Not bad at all. Kind of like being a gunslinger in the Old West. That's how I think of it. Of course, I don't tell the folks back home about it. I don't think they think much of it. My sister Mary, my little brother Billy, they both got good jobs. Running their own businesses, from what I understand. Me? I'm just some grunt out in the jungle. Bang! You're dead. Yeah, that's the way it is. Hell, I wouldn't even be going home now if it weren't for Mama and all. So I figure I'm putting a good face for it. Or what? A few weeks or so?
Boarding call for Pan Am Flight 456 for Washington Dole at Gate 17.
There's my flight. Gotta go.
Look, I told you, please don't call me here. This is my mother's. No, I don't know how long I'm going to be here. She's very sick. And my brothers are coming in, so you know what that means. I haven't seen my brother Joe in, 5 years? He works overseas, some kind of security consultant or something. It's all kind of hush-hush. I think it's military-related. Very important. And Billy, I haven't seen him in ages either. He's got his own business, too. Some kind of antique dealer or appraiser or buyer or broker or something. He goes all over the country, and sometimes he's away for 6 months at a time, he says. I don't know where he goes. But he's really turned himself around. He used to be, I don't know, kind of a troublemaker. Not bad trouble, just, stealing and stuff. We were never really sure how Billy would turn out. But he's done well for himself, he really has. So, please, just don't call me here. I'll be back as soon as I can, okay? No, I don't know where Rosalie is these days. I've lost touch with her ever since, that thing at the Howard Johnsons.
The doorbell rings.
No, wait, someone's at the door.
The door opens to allow Billy in.
Mary!
Billy! Hold on 1 second. Let me finish my call. Look, I've really got to go. Bye. Billy!
Mary!
Oh, it's so good to see you.
Meanwhile, Joe is on the plane, just changing seats.
Mind if I sit here? Thanks. So I'm on the plane out of Heathrow, right? Sitting next to this fellow who looks like a businessman of some sort. Clean-cut, business magazines, briefcase, all that. I guess he's trying to be police. So he asks me where I'm going, where I'm from, all the usual. So I tell him, been in Rhodesia, fighting the tears. Seems straightforward enough to me. But this fella just goes white as a sheet. Like I stuck my hand out and introduced myself as Charles Manson or something, So what's wrong with standing up for the farmers in Rhodesia? I mean, is it some kind of racial thing? Heck, I'm no racist. I had colored friends in Nam. Ain't nothing wrong with them. They did their thing, I did mine. We never got in each other's way. Same here. I mean, I hear people hear Africa and they think black people in the jungle. But hell, did you know that the whites have been in there Rhodesia as long as the white people have been in Oklahoma? I'll admit I didn't know that when I first went there, but it's true. It's real true. So think about it. They went there, they settled the place, they made something out of nothing. There was nothing there before. The blacks sure weren't doing anything with it. Sort of like the Indians in this country weren't doing anything with the land when they first got the settlers here. So now the blacks come along and say, you should give it back. Why should they give it back? I mean, hell, if the Mexicans came in and said the United States should give Texas back, would we do that? Not very likely. Or the Indians. That'd be more like it. Bunch of wild savages, if you ask me. What the hell's wrong with standing up for the farmers in Rhodesia? That's what I'd like to know. Should have just told him I was a what? An agribusiness security Colton? And been done with it. But then he might have given me one of his dang business magazines. So that's why I had to move seats.
Just look at you, my baby brother, all grown up.
Oh, you are too.
It's been so long. Let me hug you again. Ow! What do you have in your pocket?
Which pocket?
Mary either reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out some screwdriver, a file, and a letter opener.
This pocket?
Yeah, just some tools.
What are you doing carrying around tools in your coat pocket?
You never know when you might need them.
A screwdriver? A file? And what's this thing?
I'll take those. They'll just go right back into my pocket.
Don't you have a toolbox to put those into?
I use them, when I'm doing appraisals.
Oh.
Sometimes you need to unscrew something, look inside, see what the condition it's in, like an old clock or something like that.
Oh, I see. That makes sense, I guess. So you, make house calls? You actually go into people's houses?
Oh, yeah, I get called at all hours sometimes. Gotta be prepared. You never know when an opportunity might strike, if you know what I mean.
I see. Wow.
You know what they say in the antiques business? Never pass up a bargain, because it might not be there next time you come back.
Meanwhile, Joe fidgets while riding in a cab. He keeps glancing out the window before finally turning to the driver.
Say, Callie, do you want to do me a favor? When you turn up here on Williamson Road, there's something I want to see. Yeah, we're still going to Greenfield. I just want to see something on Williamson first. Yeah, left. No, nothing in particular. Just keep going for a while. Okay? Hey, that's new. How long has that Burger King been there? And hey, where happened to the old Sears building? Isn't that where Sears used to be? What? What new mall? Really? The old Neuf farm. Huh. Yeah, 5 years. 5 years, man. A lot of things can change in 5 years. Where have I been? Overseas, man. Overseas. No, just working. But I was in the army before that. Yeah, I was in Nam. How about you? Whereabouts? Dang Nang? Pleiku? Quezon? That was a real deal, wasn't it? I heard all about Quezon. Sorry, man. I always heard that was some kind of... Alright, right around here. Wait. There it is. Can you pull in there? Yeah, right there. Valley Sportsman Supply. What? Yeah, I'm a hunter. You might say that. Give me 10 minutes, okay? You just need to go and check on something.
Meanwhile, Mary brings over some steaming pie to the table, and Billy sits.
One of the neighbors brought over this pie, if you want some. I know how much you used to like apple pie.
Okay, thanks. I haven't had pie in a long time.
I remember one time when Mama had fixed a pie, you started eating it for breakfast, and she threw a fit. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I mean, hey, apple's a fruit, right? It ought to be good for you. What's wrong with apple pie for breakfast?
I think it might have been the ice cream you put on it that really got her upset.
Ice cream's nothing but milk, right? So fruit and milk. What's wrong with that?
You can buy them frozen now. Apple pies, that is. Just pop them in the oven, heat them right up.
I know. Just been tied up.
So, how's the...
Just as Billy finishes speaking, the doorbell rings.
I'll get it. Joe!
Mary!
Joe!
Hey, man, how's my little brother?
Good. Dang good.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Before you take your coat off, maybe we ought to go see Mama. You never know. I mean, she's in real bad shape.
Okay. How much time do we have?
Billy, what's that fancy watch of yours say?
Later that evening, Joe, Mary, and Billy return home from the hospital.
Yeah, that was a bummer.
I told you she wouldn't be able to recognize you.
How long has she been that way?
Never since the last episode.
I didn't know.
I tried to reach you earlier. I sent a telegram to that address you left us. I didn't hear anything for a really long time.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, I was out of town.
Your office couldn't reach you?
No, not really.
So, just what kind of work do you do over there anyway?
Security.
Well, I know security, but what does that mean? The night watchman down at the bank is security.
There are all kinds of security.
Yeah, I know. That's why I wondered. What kind? What kind of security do farmers over there need?
All kinds, man. All kinds.
So, you, out guarding the barn or something?
No, it's not like that.
Well, what's it like?
It's complicated, man. Some other time, okay?
All right, just asked.
You want some coffee?
No, thanks.
I think I'm gonna make some coffee anyway. Billy, you want any coffee?
I thought it kept you awake at night.
Black coffee does. It makes me jittery. That's why I put creamer in it.
Yeah, I'll take some.
but I want mine black.
I can't do anything if I'm all jittery. I need to be relaxed. Joe, you sure?
I'm sure.
So you pack heat?
Of course.
You ever shoot anybody?
Let's not talk about killing people. I don't like to hear about killing people.
Just ask the question. Don't bite my head off. Jeez. Got any more of that pie?
In the fridge.
You were always one of those make love, not war types, weren't you, Mary?
I guess. What's that supposed to mean, anyway?
What's what supposed to mean?
The make love, not war thing.
You know, one of those peacenik types.
Oh. Can I help it if I don't like the idea of people shooting each other?
Jeez. Why is everybody so touchy around here?
Who's touchy?
See what I mean?
You got anything to drink around here?
Coffee?
I mean stronger than coffee.
No.
So what's wrong with people shooting at each other? What have you got against self-defense?
I didn't say anything against self-defense.
You said it like you didn't like the idea of people shooting at each other.
I meant, like, war and stuff. You know what I meant.
War can be in self-defense.
Whatever.
People defending their property, that's self-defense.
That's just stupid.
Stupid? Did you hear what she called me, Billy? She called me stupid.
I didn't call you stupid. I just said war was stupid.
Billy, what do you think?
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, what do I think about what?
Is it right to shoot at somebody who's trying to steal your property?
I sure hope not.
Listen to you two, jeez.
Will you get off this, Joe? I don't like this.
Why? What's wrong?
Since when did we get all hot over stuff like this? Yeah, I want some more of that pie.
Since 1776, buddy. That's what Thomas Jefferson and all those guys were talking about. Life, liberty, property. You know, that's what the Declaration of Independence was originally supposed to say, but then they changed it to pursuit of happiness instead.
Nah, I didn't know that.
Where were you in history class, man?
Mostly in detention.
Well, you want to know what it's all about? Come over to Rhodesia, man. You'll learn pretty quick about these things.
About what things?
Life, liberty, property, self-defense. You'll see.
Nah, I don't need to see.
You might come to appreciate some things.
What kind of things?
Life, liberty, property.
Oh, I think I appreciate those things enough already, thank you.
He's in the antiques business, you know. Quite successful, too, from what I hear.
Antiques. That's pretty high class. How'd you get interested in antiques?
Oh, you know, just picked it up along the way.
All of a sudden, the telephone rings.
I'll get it. Hello, this is... I thought I told you not to call me. I'm at my mother's. She's very sick. They say she might go any day now and... What? Tonight? I can't. I told you I'm here with family. I can't. Who? Oh. How much? Well, what about Yvonne? Doesn't she usually do this sort of thing? Oh, I see. Oh my God, how much? And how much time are we talking about? Is that all? You're sure? You promise? Okay, just this once, okay? As a favor, all right? Where? Yeah, I know the drill. Okay, I'll be there as soon as I can get there.
Mary hangs up the phone to see Joe and Billy looking at her.
What?
I didn't say anything.
Look, I've got to step out for a bit. Important client. Needs, an estimate for a big party coming up. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Hey, can I come along?
No.
Whose house are you going to?
It's confidential, all right?
Why are you so hot to go, Billy?
It must be somebody rich, right? If they can afford a caterer. I wouldn't mind seeing inside their house. My friends have business there, too. You know, maybe they've got some antiques.
No.
Well, maybe they don't even know what they're worth.
I said no.
All right. Don't get so touchy about it, jeez.
I've got to go change my clothes.
What's wrong with what you've got on now?
Just leave me alone, okay? I'm in a hurry. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Man, this must be some important client if you have to dress up for them.
How about bringing us some beer on your way back, okay?
Yeah, I don't think she heard you.
I don't think she did either.
Something's up with her, man. She's awfully touchy about something.
She just worked up about Mama.
Yeah, I guess so.
But I figure nothing I can do about it. Can't worry about what I can't control, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
Let's go get some beer. Who knows when she'll be back.
All right.
Later that night, Joe and Billy are sitting at the table. They're laughing over old stories while having something to drink.
And remember that time you got caught stealing those Christmas decorations from old man Hensley's house?
Do I ever? Man, he's all like, "Young man, where do you think you're doing sneaking around in my backyard at 2 o'clock in the morning?" Hello, Mr. Hensley. I was just looking for my dog. He ran off again. I know you're kind, young man. You're sneaking around here trying to steal my plastic reindeer, aren't you? Oh, no, Mr. Hensley, I wouldn't do anything like that. Don't lie to me, young man. I know your mama doesn't like lying any more than I do. Now, do I have to tell her you was sneaking around here? No, sir. Now, you just run along. Yes, sir. And don't forget to take your dog with you. Of course, the thing was, we hadn't had a dog in years at that point, and I'd already packed up half the reindeer at that point anyway. So what was I supposed to do, put them back?
What did you do?
Heck, I took the ones I had up to Troutful and sold them at a flea market.
You skunk. You little skunk. You and your five-finger discounts. You always were working, weren't you? I remember when you were in kindergarten. Mama made me and Mary hold your hands in the checkout aisle at the grocery store, because you were always sneaking stuff into your pockets.
Yeah, bubblegum, candy. It's a talent.
But you turned out all right, man. You turned out all right, didn't you?
Yeah, I reckon.
At least you figured out something to do, man. Figured out some way to put that talent to work.
What are you talking about?
Your antiques business, man. You always did have a flair for turning a dollar. Now look at you.
Oh, yeah. That.
I could never be a businessman. Don't have a time for the patience. Guess I was never much for negotiation.
I thought you were a businessman.
What are you talking about?
Your security gig.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, I guess that's a business. You can call it a business if you want to.
You do run your own company, right? That's what Mary always told me.
Company? Sure. Sure. Company, platoon, squad, heck. No difference sometimes. Just a bunch of guys out in the bush. You want to shoot at them before they shoot at you.
Joe draws out his gun.
Hey, what's that for?
I picked this up on the way here. Thought I might do a little target practice while I'm here. Yeah, you want to see it?
Yeah, it's all right.
Come on, man. Try it.
Just then Mary enters, disheveled. She is wearing a coat over her slinky black dress, along with some fishnets and heels.
Mary!
What are you two still doing up?
Yeah, what do you mean, still up? It's only what, 1:30? I do some of my best work after midnight.
Billy hands the gun back to Joe.
What the heck's that?
It's Joe's. He got it for target practice while he's here.
Need to stay in shape, you know?
Well, put it away for God's sakes. I don't want somebody waving a gun around.
I wasn't waving it around. I was just looking at it.
Where have you been, sis? Thought you'd be back by now.
Joe tries to hug her, but Mary shies away.
What's wrong?
I didn't know you two were gonna wait up for me.
We're just hanging out.
I'm not a kid anymore, you know? You don't have to worry about me. I can take care of myself.
Okay, okay. Take it easy, sis.
So, did you get the job?
The what?
The catering job. I thought you went to talk to somebody about a catering job.
Oh, yeah, that. I don't know. I'll find out later, I guess.
So what was the house like? Nice place?
I don't know. I didn't pay attention to it.
You know, if you ever need any help setting up, I could probably help out sometime.
I'm fine.
Well, take off your coat. Sit down and have a drink with us. Went and got some beer.
Yeah, we got lots of beer.
No thanks.
Come on, take off your coat. Have a beer.
Joe grabs her coat and catches a glimpse of the dress underneath.
Whoa! Is this your caterer's uniform?
Leave me alone.
Oh, look at you, sis. I'm sure you get a lot of jobs decked out like that.
I said, leave me alone.
I haven't seen anybody dressed up like that since I was in the red light district.
Mary slaps him.
Whoa! What was that for?
I am not a tramp.
I didn't say you were.
Yes, you did. I know what you're thinking. You don't know anything.
Mary slaps him again.
Whoa, Mary, take it easy on him now.
I'll teach you not to do that again.
Joe grabs her arm and clamps down on it.
You know what I'm thinking, do you? Well, do you know what I'm thinking right now?
Hey! Let me go! Ah!
Mary struggles to free herself.
I'm thinking if we were back in Rhodesia, nobody would dare do that to me.
God! Ah, Joe!
Let it go, Joe. You're not back in Rhodesia.
You know what we learned in the Army? There are two little pressure points right here and here. And if you press them just right...
Stop it!
Hey, let her go.
You know how many people I've killed like that? It's very easy, you know.
Stop it.
You're out in the jungle, you get one of them tears by the arm like this, you can save yourself the bullets.
I said stop it.
Billy picks up the gun and points it at Joe.
Put that down!
You idiot, it's not loaded.
I don't care if it's not loaded. I said stop it.
Billy puts the gun down. Suddenly, he lunges at Joe and pulls Joe off.
Ow! That hurt.
Come on, you want to take me? Come on!
Just leave her alone.
You know what I am? I'm a trained killing machine. You don't want to mess with me or I'll pop your neck like it was a chicken bone. I've done it before, I'll do it again. Don't mess with me, man.
Stop it, you two. Stop it!
You're scaring her, man.
Oh, I can do more than scare people. You don't believe me?
Come on, calm down.
Jeez, Joe, ease up, man. She's your sister.
The three of them stand there looking at each other.
Oh, heck. Sit down and have a drink with us, sis.
I think you've had too much to drink already.
Sit down.
Mary sits.
I'm not staying long.
That's better. Now drink a beer and lighten up.
So is that true what you were saying?
What?
The part about killing people.
What the heck do you think I was doing in Nam?
I don't mean in Nam.
You mean in the bush? You don't know what goes on in the bush.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The security company of yours. I thought you were like a consultant or something.
Consultant? Yeah, I consult, all right. Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands, if you know what I mean.
So are you like a sniper? What's that other word I'm looking for?
Mercenary?
Yeah, mercenary. So do you have like a license to kill or something?
License? There ain't no dang license. Like I said, you don't know what goes on in the bush.
I don't like all this talk about killing. It bothers me.
What's the matter? You wouldn't respect me in the morning if you thought I was some kind of contract killer for some rich white Rhodesian farmer?
No, I wouldn't. Now quit talking about it. I don't like it.
Sitting out there in the bush, like sitting in a deer stand, just waiting for the terrors to come sneaking through. Then, pop, pop, pop.
Stop it.
Only difference here is there's no trophy on the wall.
So, is that what you do, man? You kill people for a living?
It's just a job.
You're disgusting. You haven't changed a bit. I never know when you're telling the truth.
Are you telling the truth? Or are you just drunk?
He's just drunk, trying to scare us half to death.
I'm not drunk. Look at my hands.
Yes, you are. You're drunk.
Take off your coat, won't you?
It's cold in here.
Wouldn't be cold in here and if you had more on.
I'm fine.
All dolled up like a French maid if you ask me. No wonder you're cold.
Well, nobody asked you. Just leave me alone, okay? Don't worry about what I'm wearing.
So what's with the outfit anyway? I thought caterers were white, sort of like waitress uniforms.
I know what you've been up to.
Oh.
You snuck out on a date, didn't you?
What?
You've got a boyfriend, don't you?
Maybe.
Who is he?
I said, leave me alone.
Mary stands. Money falls out of her pocket.
Whoa, what's this?
Give me that.
Holy crap, look at these bills.
That's mine.
Oh, you got a real sugar daddy, don't you?
Whoa, where'd you get a stash like that?
None of your business.
No, but apparently it's Mary's business.
What's that supposed to mean?
I think you know exactly what it's supposed to mean.
Well, at least I'm not killing people for a living, if that's what you really do over there.
What are you two talking about?
I'm proud of what I do. Are you proud of what you do?
Shut up.
Answer me!
I'll have you know I'm making a good living by my wits and what God gave me. And I make people happy. I don't hurt a soul. I'm not saying what I do deserves a Nobel Priest Prize or anything, but I make some people's lives a little better. I don't cheat, I don't steal, and I certainly don't kill people. Can you say the same thing? Huh? Can you?
Yeah, what's so funny?
So little Billy's the only honest one in the family, is what you're saying? Who would have thought that? Little Billy with his 5-finger discounts.
Yeah, leave me alone, will you?
Suddenly, the telephone rings.
I'll get it. Hello?
Tell him I'll have to take a number and wait.
Hey,
Yes, this is she.
And tell him, shh, don't shush me.
can't you see she's on the phone?
Yes, I see. No, that's all right. I understand. All right. No, not right now. I see. Okay. Thank you.
What was that all about?
It's Mama. She's gone.
Joe, Billy, and Mary stare at the floor. One by one, they look at each other.
So, who gets this vase?
The end. That was Occupations by Dwayne Yancey. The narrator was by Katelin Tremonte. The part of Joe was portrayed by David Matsui. The part of Mary was portrayed by Kat Miller. And the part of Billy was portrayed by Walter Lutsch.
And with that, we're going to go to a quick commercial. Enjoy.
I guarantee this is the manliest fuel-efficient car you will ever drive. Welcome to Arnie's Prius dealership, where we have the best prices on Prius models in all of California, including the all-new Prius Arnie Edition. Yeah, the Prius is the most fuel-efficient car in existence, and now comes with twin rocket launchers, semi-automatic machine guns, and optional helicopter mode. Why drive to the chopper when you can flip a switch and you're already inside? Every vehicle comes standard with 10 inches of steel plating, 8-foot ceilings, and 6 feet of extra legroom. Don't worry about traffic, your Arnie Edition will flatten any puny smart car in your way. So drive your puny car to Arnie's Prius dealership. We will crash it and give it back to you as your complimentary bulletproof vanity plate. I guarantee this is the manliest, fuel-efficient car you will ever drive.
Oh. Are we good?
Welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that commercial. And for our next script...
Our next script is They're Called Tweets, President Mubarak, by Sam Post.
In the private chambers of Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak, he works at his desk with paper and pencil. There is a knock on the door, and Mubarak calls them in. The chief of staff enters.
Mr. President, the people are revolting.
You can say that again.
No, sir. I mean they are actually revolting.
What seems to be the problem?
They want a middle class, sir.
They've got one.
It's disappeared, sir.
Disappeared? You are in the middle class.
I'm the only one, sir. We basically have two economic classes now, sir. The poor and the billionaires.
Which one is revolting?
The poor.
That's good to hear. I've got enough problems without having a bunch of unhappy billionaires on my back.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, sir. There are so many people, poor people, revolting.
So where exactly is this revolt?
In the streets.
Then close the streets.
We've tried that, sir. They keep moving to another street. We can't close them all.
Of course we can. Impose a curfew.
Yes, sir.
A couple of days later.
The people are still revolting.
I'm sure they are.
The curfew isn't working, sir.
Why not?
They won't listen. It's impossible to enforce.
Cut off the telephones. That'll stop them.
They aren't calling each other, sir. They're using the internet.
Excuse me?
The internet, sir. Computers wired together?
They can do that.
Yes, sir. They also have wireless devices. And they text.
Since when do the common poor use these internets?
They use it quite a bit, sir.
And they talk to each other on this.
Yes, sir. Mostly with social networking sites.
Why would the common peasant need this?
Fun mostly. They share things and tweet. For example, yesterday, I posted some amazing pictures of my granddaughter's birthday party. In some ways, I think it makes for a richer online experience.
Isn't that nice?
They also use these sites to discuss politics and plan protests.
Then this is the problem. What are the names of these so-called websites?
Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Shut these down immediately.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
If it resides inside my head, then by definition, it's a good idea. Would you like to have your head cut off?
No, sir.
Then ban these Facebooks and Twitters.
Yes, sir.
A day later.
Mr. President, the people are really revolting now.
Tell me about it.
It's not a modifier, sir. It's a verb. Hundreds of thousands of them are in the street now revolting. I'm afraid they might set this building on fire.
Still that middle-class bull?
The economic grievances have been building for some time, sir. A more immediate problem is now Facebook and Twitter.
I told you to shut those down.
We did that, sir. It made the problem worse.
If we turned it off, then why is it worse?
The people want to tweet, sir. They want to update their Facebook status and connect with their friends. They're angry.
Have the police arrest them.
Not an option, sir.
Okay, then. If it comes out of my mouth, then it's an option.
The police are on their side.
On their side?
Yes, sir.
But the police work for me.
The police are people too, sir. The revolt is widespread.
So the police are not following orders?
No, sir.
Then call out the military. I've never had any problem with them.
That may tick off the people even more.
Maybe so, but if we kill a few, the rest of the people will fall in line.
A few hours later.
The people are still revolting, sir.
I'm well aware of that. Have we killed a few?
Yes, sir.
And they're still up to no good.
They're fighting back, sir. They're filling the streets and burning government buildings.
Then perhaps we should kill some more.
You may want to leave the country, sir.
Leave the country? You think I need a vacation?
No, sir. You may need to leave permanently, sir.
You would look very different without a head.
I'm sure I would, sir. But that's part of my description. Job description is devising you.
And you would risk your life by advising me to leave my own country.
Only because it may save your life.
Nonsense. Where would I go?
South America is always a good option.
And who would lead my people?
They want to select a different leader.
I don't understand.
The people are ready for a change, sir.
After 30 years, the best 30 years of my life, and this is the thanks I get, that'll be all. You can leave now.
They want a change in their government.
You're talking gibberish. You may go now.
It's been a pleasure, Mr. President. I'm going to Paraguay.
Paraguay? What's in Paraguay?
Google it.
What does that mean?
Goodbye, sir.
The end. That was They're Called Tweets, President Mubarak. The part of President Mubarak was played by Walter Lutsch, and the part of the Chief of Staff was played by David Matsui, and the narrator was Kat Miller.
So before we get into our next play of the evening, we're going to hear a quick commercial break, a quick commercial from one of our sponsors.
Blaine Company has been providing you with the best service. The Blaine Company has for over 35 years. The company has been providing you with the best service and prices when it comes to radioactive material. Unlike most of our competitors, we don't have to use strong tactics to guarantee your business. While some shadier dealers can't guarantee the seal of their container, our carefully constructed shielding will ensure the safety and health of you and your loved ones from purchase to detonation. Our certified technicians inspect each and every shipment to ensure its quality and yield. Where others artificially inflate the prices of their radioactive ore, we are committed to providing you the best product at a price that won't leave your grandchildren's children in debt. Whether you're looking for medium enriched or highly enriched, radium or just ore, the Blaine Company will provide you with superior service and a superior product, guaranteed. Blaine Company. Now you have a friend in the uranium business.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. And we're going to go to our next script.
Our next script of the evening is Zucchini Are Plotting to Take Over the World by Dwayne Yancey.
Betty is rushing over to see her friend Margaret. She has gotten a distressful call from her friend and is fearing the worst. She rushes up the steps to the house and knocks on the door, out of breath. She hears Margaret jump up to answer it, but Betty can't wait for her friend and instead pokes her head in.
Margaret, are you there?
Oh, thank goodness you got here.
I came as fast as I could.
Oh, I don't know what to do. It's just so horrible. Horrible!
What is it? Did something happen to Harold?
No.
To one of the children?
No, not them.
Well, what was it then? Did something happen to you?
Yes.
What was it? You can tell me.
Oh, I can't even talk about it.
You've got to talk about it, Margaret. I'm your friend. I can help, but I can't help if I don't know what it is.
Yes, you're right.
Be strong, Margaret. I'm here for you. Anything, whatever it is, just tell me.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
I'm a woman, Margaret. I can believe anything. I believed my husband when he said he was going to clean gutters instead of playing golf today, didn't I? The lazy good-for-nothing lout.
All right. Well, I was out in the garden.
All right. This is good. You were out in the garden.
And?
And?
I was out picking the tomatoes.
The tomatoes.
And the squash.
Oh, I love squash.
And then when I got to the zucchini...
You got to the zucchini and...
Well...
Yes.
They talked to me.
Who talked to you? The crazy neighbors next door?
No, and don't call them crazy. They might hear you.
Who? The neighbors?
No, them.
Them who?
Them the zucchini, that's who.
The zucchini talked to you.
I knew you wouldn't believe me.
Margaret, zucchinis don't talk.
Mine do.
Zucchinis are vegetables.
Oh, that's where you're wrong. They're not vegetables. Well, they are, but they're much more than that.
All right. I'll humor you. What are they then?
They're aliens.
Zucchinis are aliens.
Yes.
Like aliens from out in space, not like aliens, illegal aliens on the news. Aliens.
Aliens from the planet Zukon.
They told you this.
And more.
You had a whole conversation with them then.
Oh, yes. Well, it was pretty one-sided.
I'm sure.
No, not like that. They did most of the talking.
Margaret, you're scaring me.
And so did they.
A plant scared you.
They're taking over, you know.
Who are?
The zucchini. Haven't you been paying attention? They've come down here as seeds, and look at them. They're reproducing like mad. They're reproducing so much I can't keep up with them. I've used every recipe I can think of. I've made zucchini bread, zucchini lasagna, zucchini soup, zucchini pie.
Zucchini pie?
Oh, yes, you should try it. Harold won't touch it because it's all green and he hates vegetables. Anyway, but it's wonderful, especially with zucchini ice cream.
Zucchini ice cream?
I've had fried zucchini and baked zucchini and zucchini stuffed and zucchini hamburger helper and, well, that's when it hit me.
The zucchini not only talked to you, it hit you.
No, don't be silly. The idea hit me. The zucchini's just a vine.
Finally, we're making some progress. So, what's this idea that hit you?
War crimes.
Okay, you're not making any sense again.
I've been killing them, Margaret. I've been killing them and eating them. And you have too. Everyone in the neighborhood has been. The church supper, the food pantry, the old folks down at the rest home. We've all been eating them, and they know it.
They, the old folks.
They, the zucchini.
They told you this.
Oh, yes. They talk, you know, and it's some kind of telepathy thing they've got going on. They're a highly evolved species, you know, and someday when they've taken over the planet, well, they're going to put me on trial. They're going to put all of us on trial that have ever eaten a zucchini, and, well, you know what's going to happen to us then?
I can hardly imagine.
They're going to strangle us with their little runners in our sleep, like this.
Margaret begins making choking sounds.
Margaret, I think you've been in the kitchen a little too much.
Oh, yes, I have been. I've had blood on my hands, that's for sure. Well, actually, it's zucchini pulp, but it's no different from blood, except that it's green. That's proof that they're aliens.
Perhaps you need some fresh air?
Maybe so.
Why don't we just step outside for a little bit?
Betty nudges Margaret toward the back door.
Oh, no, not out there.
What's wrong with out there?
That's where the tomatoes are. Didn't I tell you about the tomatoes?
The end. That was Zucchini Are Plotting to Take Over the World by Dwayne Yancey. The narrator was played by Walter Lutsch, Margaret was played by Katelin Tremonte, and Betty was played by Kat Miller.
Our next play of the night will be The Secret Lives of Goldfish, The Breakout by Dwayne Yancey. Freddy and Einstein are swimming in an aquarium, looking out at the world beyond their tank.
So, what's the plan?
We evolve.
We what?
We evolve. We get a swimming start. We are fish, after all. We take a flying leap. Plop. We're over the edge of the tank. We're out on the table.
And then?
And then we evolve.
And then we die, you mean? That's what happened to Goldie.
Goldie didn't evolve.
Goldie flopped around asking for breath. Flip, flop, die.
Like I said, Goldie didn't evolve.
And how do you propose we do this evolve thing?
Easy. We turn our gills into lungs and our fins into legs.
And then what?
And then we run away.
We run away, huh? Just like that.
Just like that.
You really got this whole thing figured out, don't you?
Don't you see? We won't be prisoners anymore. No more swimming round and round in circles in this fish tank. No more having to swim past that little plastic castle, or that plastic mermaid, or that plastic treasure chest. And we certainly won't have to swim past those plastic plants anymore. Is there anything more ridiculous than plastic pants? Plants. We'll be out of here with the real plants. We'll be free. Free as a bird. They evolved, you know. They used to be dinosaurs.
There's just one problem with your grand plan, Fish Breath.
What's that?
The cat.
Oh.
Yeah.
Darn you, Darwin. Darn you to hell.
Let's say we do another lap.
Yeah, sure. May as well. Just a theory, anyway.
The end. That was The Secret Lives of Goldfish, The Breakout by Dwayne Yancey. The part of Freddy was played by Dave Matsui, and the part of Einstein was played by Walter Lutsch.
So real quick, guys, we're going to go for another commercial break.
We hope will influence your buying decision. At Bleep Country, we promise to beat our competitors. With Summer Relevant Holiday right around the corner, Bleep Country is getting ready for its Multiple Personalities Day sale. Receive a $100 mail-in rebate on any mattresses priced at $1,500 or more. You'll find all the brands you know here, including the latest Quietus mattress, the most highly recommended bed in America by some unknown group of people whose recommendation we hope will influence your buying decision. At Bleep Country, we promise to beat our competitors' prices, and if we can't, we promise just to beat them senseless. As always, Bleak Country offers free delivery, free setup, and free backyard burning of your old mattress. At Bleep Country, we want you to rest assured that we offer the most comfortable floor models, the lowest prices, until you shop around at other stores.
And we guarantee the bed you choose is the bed you'll swear at. I mean, buy. Wow, don't you want to buy some stuff from us now?
Bleep Country, USUCK, the mattresses you will curse at all night.
Bleep Country is not responsible for accidentally setting your kids on fire when burning your old mattress, running over your pets when delivering your new mattress, or any unforeseen stress that we, our mattressers, our policy, our staff, our delivery men, and or our legal crap may cause you or anyone who knows you.
Welcome back, guys. I hope you enjoyed that commercial from Bleep Country. And we're going to go to our next script.
Our next play of the night is God and the Devil Meet for a Business Lunch by Dwayne Yancey.
The devil is waiting at the hostess stand of a restaurant around lunchtime. Tapping his foot anxiously, he keeps looking over his shoulder, as if afraid to be recognized here. The waitress arrives, and he is visibly relieved.
Smoking or non?
Smoking, by all means.
Right this way. Table for one?
The waitress leads him toward a table, while the horned one continues to check over his shoulder.
I'll be having someone join me.
Very good. Can I get you something to drink?
Whiskey, straight up.
Very good. Here's a menu you can look at while you wait.
The waitress leaves to get his drink, and the devil peruses the menu.
Man, look at these prices.
God enters the restaurant, sliding up to the table while the devil is still reading the menu.
Ah, there you are. Speak of the devil, eh?
Where did you come from?
You know better than to ask me a question like that.
You know what I mean.
I've been here all along, from the beginning.
Oh, don't give me that.
It's true, you can look it up.
Look, I don't like this any more than you do. Let's just get on with it, shall we?
Where did you find this little place? I like what they've done with the decor.
It's hell, I tell you, trying to find a place where we can get together without, either of us being recognized. Bad for the image,
Bad for your image, maybe. I get credit for this sort of thing, sort of like going into the lion's den.
Oh, not that again.
The waitress returns with Lucifer's drink while she smiles at the newcomer to the table, handing him a menu.
Ah, I see your friend is here.
Not friends. We're acquaintances.
Don't listen to him. We go way back. Back to the beginning, practically.
That's enough.
We're associates.
You fired me.
You brought it on yourself.
Can I get you something to drink?
Just water for me.
Very good. I'll give you a few moments to look over the menu.
Just water?
What? I like water.
Oh, you're not going to pull another one of those little tricks, are you?
It's not a trick.
If I did it, it'd be called a trick.
Actually, I think you're confusing me with someone else, but I'll take it as a compliment anyway.
Hell, I never get credit for anything. All I ever get is the blame. He made me do it.
Can I help it if I have a better publicist? I'm still on all the bestseller lists,
So what was it anyway? Merlot, Bordeaux?
Don't worry about that.
I'll bet it was Merlot. What? I like details. You know what they say.
Actually, Einstein said I was in the details.
Oh, what does he know?
He knew that I don't play at dice.
The waitress returns, interrupting their banter, and hands God his glass of water.
Here you go.
Bless you, my child.
You're welcome. Do you gentlemen know what you'd like?
I'll have the blackened chicken.
And you?
The fish, broiled.
Very good. These won't take long. I'll be back with some bread.
All right. So listen, we have some business to discuss.
All right. So what's on your mind?
I have a business proposition for you.
A deal? I don't know. You know what they say about making deals with you.
Look, I've been thinking. This whole rivalry thing, I don't think it's working out for either of us.
Well, it's working out very well with me for the Baptists. But go on.
The way I see it, you owe me.
I owe you. What's with that? The wages of sin don't pay well enough these days. I think not.
Now listen, hear me out. Look, I'm not hurting. You must admit I do a pretty good job attracting market share on my own.
I'll give you your due.
But you still need me. See, the way I look at it, I'm really doing your dirty work for you. The whole eternal punishment thing. If you didn't have me to deal with the wicked, you'd have to invent me.
You've got a point there.
Thank you.
Get it? A point?
Very funny. If you knew how sick and tired I was of that.
Sorry. Forgive me? Wait, that's my business. You just go on. You were saying?
I'm saying that I'm really sort of like, well, the head of your correctional system. Sort of the ultimate maximum security.
And you do a very good job with it, I must say.
Thank you.
So what are you proposing?
A merger. A partnership.
Out of the question.
Or at least some sort of formal subcontracting relationship.
Let me get this straight. You want me to pay you for looking after the people I condemn to hell?
It seems only fair, doesn't it?
I don't know. It may not look too good, PR issues and all that. And you know me, I'm all about PR.
We wouldn't have to make it public. It could be, an under-the-table sort of arrangement.
A kickback? You're offering me a kickback?
Shh, we're just talking about compensation for services rendered. Nothing wrong with that, is there? Just the whole render under Caesar thing, right?
I suppose.
But you do believe in tithing, don't you? 10% of everything should go back to you, right?
I guess, but that would mean...
The waitress returns and interrupts them apologetically.
I'm sorry, we're all out of the blackened chicken.
Damn.
Try the fish. I'm sure they have plenty of fish.
Oh, what the hell. All right, but blackened.
Yes, sir.
Very blackened.
Sure thing. Coming right up.
So, as I was saying...
I don't know. My people might not understand that sort of thing.
Your people?
Yeah, my people.
Your chosen people, you mean?
Well, if you want to put it that way.
How the hell else am I supposed to put it?
Well, you've got another point there. Get it? Another point? How'd you ever think of that whole pitchfork thing anyway? I've always wanted to ask you that.
Forget the blasted pitchfork, will you, for God's sake?
So, just how would that work, I wonder? If I forget it for my own sake.
God!
Is there something else eating at you? Come on, out with it. You can tell me anything. Confession is good for the soul, you know.
How come I never got to choose my own people? Look what I'm stuck with. The dregs of society. The scum of the earth.
It's hell, isn't it? Oh, that's another good one.
The waitress returns carrying a basket.
And here's some bread.
Just 5 loaves?
Oh, there's plenty more where that came from. Just ask and I can bring you some more.
Bless you.
Your order should be out shortly. I'll go check on it for you.
What about her?
What about her?
Is she on your list?
Let me check.
God reaches into his robes and pulls out a smartphone.
You have to check?
Well, there are a lot of people to keep track of, you know. These new Galaxy phones are a miracle. I don't know how I ever got anything done without them.
Stone tablets.
I'm sorry? What did you say?
Nothing. It was nothing.
Let's see. Ah, here we go.
So, is she in there?
Oh, everybody's in here.
Everybody?
I've just got to call up her file. This shouldn't take but a second.
You've got a file on everybody in the world, in that thing.
I bought the deluxe model, additional memory, and an extended warranty. When you're planning on working through eternity, it helps to have an extended warranty, I've found.
Tell me about it. My cell phone died on me last week, and you know what they told me? The warranty had run out the week before.
Ah, here she is.
So what's it say?
Maybe.
Maybe?
I've got her down as a maybe.
What's that mean?
It means, well, she's a maybe.
Maybe she'll get into your place, maybe she'll get sent to mine?
Exactly.
Details, man!
Well, let's see. She's taken my name in vain a few times.
All right.
Mostly when the kitchen messed up her orders, though.
Oh.
Still, it counts.
Yes. What else?
Oh.
What is it?
Oh, no.
What?
I don't know what it is about that 7th commandment. It doesn't seem that hard to me, you know.
1, 2, 3, 4... Ah, yes, adultery. One of my personal favorites.
And then there's the 10th one. That coveting thing gets him every time.
Yes, I know. What about the 4th? She must have broken the 4th sometime.
Yeah, she had some Sunday shifts.
Yeah, what did I tell you? That day of rest thing? Take my word for it. There's no rest for the wicked. I'm on call 24/7.
Of course, her intentions were good.
And I've got a well-paved highway leading straight to my place, too, with all those good intentions.
I suppose you're right. Still, it's nothing she can't work off.
Work off? You mean like those extra pounds on her thighs?
I was thinking maybe some prayer, some good works.
How about some speedier service? You know, customer service these days is going to straight to hell.
Well, whose fault is that now, I wonder?
And what's that supposed to mean?
You don't think that devil-may-care attitude of yours has anything to do with it now, do you? Sets a bad example for the troops.
The waitress comes back carrying a tray with both of their orders.
Here we go. The blackened fish for you, sir, and the broiled for you. You ordered these just in the nick of time. These were the last 2 fish we had. They're quite popular this week. I'll get you a refill on that water. Now, is there anything else I can get you?
What kind of fish is this?
It's our catch of the day.
And that would be?
I believe it's sole.
Excellent.
Not that kind of soul.
Damn.
Well, I'll check back with you in a bit.
So I really think you ought to consider my proposition.
Let's just eat, my friend.
The end. That was God and the Devil Meet for a Business Lunch by Dwayne Yancey. The narrator was played by Katelin Tremonte, the waitress was played by Kat Miller, the devil was played by Walter Lutsch, and God was played by Dave Matsui.
And with that, we're going to go to another little break, and you can have fun with one of our commercials from the old days.
Are you looking for a nice soothing mocha latte to unwind after a long hard day at work? Well, forget about it. You're in Annie's coffee shop now, where we serve only the manliest of manly coffee drinks. 12 shots of caffeine in every cup. There is no decaf. You'll be up for 48 hours straight after drinking here. Looking for a little jolt to keep you awake while studying? You'll get more than you bargained for here. 1 black quintuple shot espresso with no cream, and you'll be ready to arm wrestle Sylvester Stallone.
Welcome back, guys. For our next play of the evening, we've got
If Cats Had Lawyers by Dwayne Yancey.
One day, at a quiet suburban house, a knock is heard on the door. The man of the house goes to answer it.
I'll get it.
The knocking at the door continues.
I'm coming.
The husband opens the door to a woman standing in a finely pressed suit.
Is this the Wellington residence?
Yes, may I ask?
And are you Mr. J.G. Wellington?
Yes, but...
Congratulations! You've just been served.
The process server hands the man several papers, smiling at him all the while.
What is this?
Your problem now, buddy, not mine.
The process server, still smiling, walks away. The man, stunned, closes the doors as he begins studying the papers.
What in the world?
Just then, his wife enters.
Who was it, honey?
I'm not sure. It looks like we're being sued.
What?
Right here, that's what it says.
For what? What's going on?
Negligence?
What have we been negligent about?
Failure to maintain standard of care.
Care for what?
Harassment?
Harassment? What is this?
Alienation of affection?
John, have you been having an affair?
No, but apparently we've been doing a lot of other things. Breach of confidence, intentional infliction of emotional distress, res ipsa loquitur. I don't even know what that means. Do you know what res ipsa loquitur means?
Let me see this.
She snatches the paperwork from her husband.
Who filed this anyway?
She flips through the pages to the first page.
Oh.
Who is it?
The cat.
The cat?
Says so right here. Plaintiff.
But how? Never mind how. I'm going to beat his sorry hide. That animal better be glad he has 9 lives. I'm going to grab him by the tail and wring it around his stupid neck.
The man begins to walk off in search of the cat, but the wife grabs his sleeve.
Now, John, don't do anything rash. I'm sure we can work something out.
He wrenches himself free and goes storming off through the house.
Where is that mangy furball anyway?
Wait! That would be defamation! I never should have let Fluffy watch all those court shows on TV.
The end. That was If Cats Had Lawyers by Dwayne Yancey. The part of the narrator was played by David Matsui. The part of the husband was played by Walter Lutsch. The part of the wife was played by Kat Miller, and the part of the process server was played by Katelin Tremonte.
Now, before we get into our next script, guys, we've got another commercial from you. Again, from their olden days.
Are you running out of money with which to pay the overpriced neighborhood kids to clear your driveway of snow? Is your spouse always ranting at you for not doing it? And just when you finish, it snows all over again? Not anymore with the stupendous spring-loaded driveway. Just throw the stupendous spring-loaded driveway over your existing driveway and let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. With a quick flick of the switch, all that snow will be gone and your driveway will be completely clear. The stupendous spring-loaded driveway has helped millions of people, including Winifred Abel.
The neighborhood kids used to come and charge me $30 to clear my driveway. They are such nice kids. I remember when I used to shovel driveways, but now I have the springy driveway and I can do it myself. Although sometimes my arthritis gets so bad I can't flip the switch.
That's enough, ma'am.
Who are you people again? You remind me of my grandson. He wet his bed until he was 12 and...
The days of laboring or paying too much will disappear along with all that snow, thanks to the stupendous spring-loaded driveway.
The ASOTV Corporation is not responsible for launching vehicles, children, pets, and other things off to who knows where. Also, they're not responsible for the snow landing on your house and collapsing the roof before it just landing back in the same spot. Finally, they're not responsible if you leave the switch somewhere easy to reach and one of your kids starts going crazy with it. Phew, that's a lot.
Welcome back, guys. For our next play of the evening, we've got Beijing Big Mac by Alex Braun.
Late one night, on a New Year's Eve in Beijing, Susanna sits all by herself reading a book at McDonald's. a different section of the restaurant, Len picks up his tray with a burger and Coke from the counter. He looks around the restaurant and, spotting Susanna, walks over to her table.
Can I sit here?
Susanna looks up at Len.
I said, can I sit here?
She looks away. Len sits down anyways.
Cold, isn't it? Bloody cold. Freezing my toes off. I don't think it's got above 0 since I arrived. It's the wind, they reckon, coming down from Mongolia.
Siberia.
Sorry.
The wind comes down from Siberia, not Mongolia.
Oops.
Len unwraps his burger. Holding it closer to his face, he turns over and then turns around, examining it.
So what do you think of that? I said, what do you think of that?
I heard you.
What do you think? Take a good look. A genuine Beijing Big Mac.
Great.
I didn't think they'd even have the golden arches in Canada. I didn't think they'd even have the golden arches in China. Now what do I find right in the middle of downtown Beijing Central? My very own Mackie D's. And since it's New Year's Eve, I thought, hey, a special occasion, treat yourself. Treat yourself to a Big Mac, Beijing style. See you in the new year with a big bite. Well, here goes.
Len chomps down and chews the burger.
Hey, that's okay. No, it's better than okay. It's good. Really good. Almost as good as the real thing.
It is the real thing.
Sort of, but not really. Not really real. Like back home. You want some?
I'm a vegetarian.
And what are you doing in McDonald's? My name's Len.
Len sticks his hand across the table. Susanna stares at it. Len takes back his hand.
Oops.
He wipes it off on his pants.
So, when'd you get in?
Susanna slams her book shut and puts it on the table.
You see, now that's what ticks me off.
What?
The way you immediately assume I just got in. Like the way you come over here and immediately assume I speak English.
Well, you do, don't you?
But that doesn't mean you should assume it. You don't know anything about me. How did you know I wasn't a local?
Sorry.
You heard me. How did you know I wasn't a local?
I don't see too many people here with blonde hair in there.
Just because I'm blonde doesn't mean I'm blonde, okay?
Okay, don't get your knickers in a knot.
I'll do whatever I like. I could have been naturalized. I could have been living here for years, but you just immediately assume that I'm not from here, that I'm alien.
So you're not an alien. You're from here.
No, but that doesn't change my point. How would you have felt if I didn't speak English, huh? If you just came over here and started blurting.
I wasn't blurting.
And I couldn't understand a word you were saying. How would you have felt then? Pretty stupid, huh? You would have felt pretty bloody stupid.
No.
Whatever.
Susanna turns away and begins reading her book again. Len goes to take another bite of his burger, but then pauses.
See, this is no good now. You put me off my Big Mac. On New Year's Eve, too. I said I'm not eating my Big Mac.
Do you know how much crap is in one of those?
Hey, baby, you're eating it, too.
I'm not eating. I'm drinking. Tea. Green tea. Without milk.
That's usually how green tea comes.
It's all I can afford. I only come in here because I've got a friend who works behind the counter. He slips me an extra tea bag for free.
A friend?
He lives here with the family I'm staying with.
You're staying with the family?
I help with the chores and give him $5 a week. I sleep on the floor in the kitchen.
The kitchen? Must be hard on the bum.
Yeah, well, it's cheaper than a hostel.
That's where I'm staying.
Len looks back at his burger.
You sure you don't want any? I could pick out the meat and you could eat like the tomato and lettuce. Seems a shame to waste it.
What you paid for would keep my family in rice for a week.
Well, shoot. I didn't know that. Only been here a week.
So you don't know much at all, do you?
Well, if you don't like it so much, then why don't you just go somewhere else? Leave this hellhole of corporate carnality and go find a nice little genuine Beijing bistro.
I would, but it's too friggin' cold, and I think I'm coming down with the flu.
Hey, you want to know a secret? A big secret?
No.
Come on.
Susanna finally looks at him.
I don't like it.
Like what?
Rice. I don't like rice. Guess I'm stuffed out here.
Len laughs, and Susanna turns away. He looks at her for a second, and then reaches into his pocket, taking out his wallet. He opens it and pulls out a bill, offering it to Susanna.
Take it.
What?
Go on, take it.
I don't want your money.
Sounds like you need it.
I don't need anything from you.
It's a Christmas present.
That was last week, and they don't celebrate Christmas in China. Duh.
Well, you need a Christmas present then. A late one.
Len places the bill on the table. He looks at Susanna.
I'll just leave it here then, so you can think about it for a while.
Susanna throws her book down as she jumps up.
I said I don't want your money.
What exactly is your problem?
You're my problem.
I come over here, see a familiar face, just trying to be friendly, and how do you treat me? Like a dog. Like a friggin' dog.
You're probably used to it.
I mean, we're countrymen, countrywoman, whatever. We come from the same home. I mean, we might have even gone to the same school. I'm all alone here trying to get used to the place, and you just treat me like crap.
Maybe I don't want to run into someone from my country.
Why the heck not?
Maybe I came here to get away from people like you.
People like...
Travelers, backpackers, Aussies. They come to a city, take some happy snaps, tick off the sights in their lonely planet, stomp around in some exotic bog hole, and then get back on the bus to the next spot on their pathetic little world tour so they can snap and tick and stomp all over again.
And I suppose you're different.
I live here. I have made a commitment to live here for 6 months at least, to really experience what another culture is like, to live like the rest of the world does, to stop being so ignorant and stuff in my face full of Beijing Big Mac.
I'm booked in for 2 years. I'm on a volunteer program, teaching English. It took me 5 years to save enough money to come out here. My school's just down the road.
You said you were staying in a hostel.
Only till the woman I'm taking over for moves out of my house next week.
House?
Yeah, house. I think it used to be a mission. Real cozy-like. There's a spare room, too. Maybe you could have used that. Still, I guess that ain't gonna work out now, seeing as how you think I'm such a pathetic, snapping, chunking, stomping Aussie.
Lynn stands up and wraps up the Big Mac. He picks up his Coke and then looks at Susanna.
You reckon it's all right if I give this to that little kid out on the street? That guy at the school said you shouldn't give him the money, but food's okay, isn't it?
Susanna nods.
See you around.
Len begins to leave the restaurant and then stops.
You know, they're throwing a party for me tonight at the school. Sort of welcome Len New Year's Eve party all rolled into one. How's that? They don't even know me and they're throwing me a New Year's Eve party when their New Year's like months off. Pretty cool, huh?
Len leaves the restaurant.
My name's Susanna.
Susanna looks at the note on the table.
The end. That was Beijing Big Mac by Alex Braun. The narrator was played by Kat Miller. Len was played by Walter Lutsch. And Susanna was played by Katelin Tremonte.
Oh, and with that, we are going to go ahead and bring you the blooper reel from our 2 seasons at Falcon Radio Theatre.
Hello, this is Stanley the Demon Hunter. While our stories may be somewhat fictional, demons are a very real threat. I don't know what goes next.
For over 35 years, the Blaine Company has provided...
Every vehicle comes standard with 10 inches of steel plating, 8-foot ceilings, and 6 foot of egg...
I would appreciate only...
So drive your puny car to Arnie's Beer's dealership. We will crush it and give it back to you.
I got one word further.
Hello, this is Stanley the Demon Hunter. While our stories are somewhat exceptional...
So drive your puny car to Arnie's Beer's dealership. We will crush it and give it back to you.
The neighborhood kids used to come and charge me $30 to clear my driveway. They are such nice kids.
I'm just gonna run it from the beginning.
Also, I do not take your contracts on your neighbor's annoying pet.
Are you looking for a nice soothing motor?
Also, I do not take it. Also, I do not take your contracts on your annoying neighbor's dog. Annoying neighbor's chihuahua.
Your neighbor's annoying chihuahua. One black with double shield.
Also, I do not take hit contracts on your annoying neighbors. But
Okay, and so for our next play of the night, we're going to do Damsel Not in Distress by Dwayne Yancey.
On a beautiful spring afternoon, a knight in shining armor comes riding over the crest of a hill. As he crests the hill, he sees something in the far distance.
Lo, what is that in yonder tower? Is that a damsel in distress? I shall rescue her.
The knight rides to the base of the tower.
Hark! O damsel, come out! I am a knight, and I am here to rescue you.
There is no reply.
Hark, oh damsel in distress.
Still no reply.
Hey, is anybody up there? I don't have all day down here, you know.
Suddenly, a damsel appears.
Who's making all that racket down there? You're gonna wake up the whole castle.
Hark, what light through yonder window breaks?
That's from Romeo and Juliet. You're in the wrong scene.
Oh, right. Sorry. Lo, are you a damsel in distress?
I don't think so.
You're not?
Well, I'm a damsel, but no distress.
Oh.
Why would you think I'm in distress? Just because I'm a damsel? That's pretty lame. Who are you, the knight of cultural stereotyping?
Sorry, I just thought that you...
Well, you thought wrong, didn't you, Mr. Tin Man?
What? What are you talking about? I remember seeing some yellow bricks back there, but I thought that was construction for another set.
Okay, whatever. I'll play along. Are you my knight?
Yes.
My knight in shining armor?
The shiniest.
Actually, it looks pretty rusty to me.
What? Where? I've been trying to keep it polished.
I think you missed a spot. It's oxidizing.
Oh, dear.
So, what are you doing around here, anyway?
What? Right, I'm on a quest.
A quest? What kind of quest?
I am searching for the Holy Grail.
Have you tried MapQuest?
I am searching for wrongs to right. I am searching for my golden treasure. I am searching for damsels in distress.
Is this some kind of midlife crisis?
Tell me, fair lady, what manner of beast holds you prisoner in this tower? Is it an ogre, a troll, an evil stepmother jealous of your beauty?
Well, I'm not really a prisoner at all.
Ah, common misconception. It's called Stockholm Syndrome, where the captive starts to identify with their captor. Have no fear, damsel. I shall rescue you. Let me at this foul beast. I shall slay him with my trusty sword.
That's quite impressive, sir.
Thank you. I've been practicing.
But actually there's no foul beast.
What?
Nope.
No ogres? No trolls?
No evil stepmother either. My stepmom and I get along pretty well, actually.
I see. So what holds you prisoner here, then?
Nothing. I'm free to come and go as I please.
You are? Then what in the world are you doing up there, then?
I like the view. It's quite scenic, really.
So, there's no villain here? No brigands? No highwaymen preying on unsuspecting travelers?
No, it's pretty peaceful here, actually.
How about dragons? Surely you must be vexed by dragons.
Silly boy, don't you know dragons are mythical creatures?
Oh.
Suddenly, a dragon enters.
Wait, you're not real. Ah, that's hot!
Well, I never said I was an honest damsel. Darn. And it was Scaly's turn for Twister, too.
That was Damsel in Distress by Dwayne Yancey. The narrator was played by Walter Lutsch. The knight was played by Dave Matsui. And the damsel was played by Katelin Tremonte.
Oh. Our next play of the evening is Somewhere Tonight, the Washington Senators' Last Game Still Plays On by Dwayne Yancey.
It is a spring night in 2005, just before the first game of the new Washington Nationals baseball team. That night, a police officer is driving. In the back seat, handcuffed, is a middle-aged man named Ralph. He looks sober and industrious, the very model of a good citizen. Except for one thing.
It's not what you think it is.
The police officer drives on, silently. Ralph becomes frustrated that the officer won't respond to him.
I wasn't trying to break in back there. Really, I wasn't. I swear.
The police officer continues to drive on silently.
I mean, do I look like a criminal? Wait, I didn't mean it that way. Forget I said that. What I meant was... these things hurt, you know.
Silence from the front seat.
I know it looks bad, but it's not, really. I can explain the whole thing.
Still nothing from the officer.
It's kind of a funny story, actually. Well, not funny in a har-har kind of way, more funny in a weird, strange kind of way. You know, that kind of funny?
Continued silence.
I guess not. Look, who do I need to talk to work all this out? It's just a really big misunderstanding, that's all it is.
The police officer says nothing.
Are you even listening to me?
The police officer does not respond.
Fine, be that way. Play your little game. I know how it goes. You think if you stay silent long enough, I'll just blurt everything out. Fine, I'll blurt it all out.
The police officer still does not respond.
All right, it's true. I killed Jimmy Hoffa. He's not in the Giant Stadium. That was just a diversion. You know where he really is? I'll tell you. I'll tell you where every single piece of him is buried. All you gotta do is say the word, any word, and I'll tell you right where I buried Jimmy Hoffa. That's it. You did it. You caught the man who killed Jimmy Hoffa. Think how that would look at your personnel file. Ever thought about that? Or are you going to work night shift all your life?
The police officer looks into his rearview mirror.
1 word. That's all I need. And I'll confess it all.
2 words.
Ha! 2! I got you. I made you talk. So, what are the 2 words?
Miranda warning.
What?
I read you your Miranda warning.
So?
So you know that anything you say
can and will be used against you in a court of law. Yeah, I know. I watch all the TV.
So if you really want to confess to killing Jimmy Hoffa, you be my guest. I can take you straight over to the FBI and you can see how much fun you have with them.
I don't want to confess to killing Jimmy Hoffa, you idiot. I mean, sir. Sir, I wasn't killing you I wasn't calling you an idiot. I mean, I did, but I didn't mean it. I didn't mean that thing about Jimmy Hoffa either. I was just trying to get your attention, sir.
You realize giving false information to a police officer is a criminal offense, right? So if you want to keep playing around, I can add on enough charges to stretch all the way from here to Anacostia and back. Your choice.
Look, all I want to do is tell you what I was doing back there.
Oh, I know what you were doing. You don't need to tell me. You need to tell the judge. Now, if you don't mind a little advice, I advise you to keep your big mouth shut, okay? You're already enough trouble as it is, and I don't need the extra paperwork.
Paperwork? Is that what this is? You don't want to hear my confession because you don't want to do the paperwork?
Pretty much.
Well, that's a pretty piss-poor attitude if you ask me. No wonder the crime rate around here is sky high.
Caught you, didn't I?
No! No, you didn't catch me.
Then what are you doing in the back of my police car? You're a funny one, you are, you know that? Crack dealers in the southeast, they're not so much fun. The drunks in Georgia, they're just a pain in the butt. But you're kind of entertaining.
I'm not entertaining. I'm being serious. I wasn't trying to break in there. Well, actually I was, but not for the reason you think. I wasn't trying to steal something. I was trying to return. Whoa. What are you doing?
Pulling over.
Why? We're not at the police station yet, are we?
No, but I can't take your statement and drive at the same time. This is Unit 58, going 1063.
1063, what's that?
Means I'm pulling over so you can confess to me. Now make it snappy. I'm getting toward the end of my shift and the chief doesn't like overtime.
Okay, all right. I'll tell you the whole thing, but you've got to promise not to laugh.
Just out with it. This ain't a comedy club. You don't get points for style.
Fine, just the facts. The facts. Okay, well, you see, the real reason I was back there in the middle of the night was I didn't want to attract any attention. That doesn't sound good. I mean, I didn't want anybody to know what I was doing. No, that doesn't sound good either. I mean, oh, hell, it's like this. Are you a baseball fan by any chance?
Get to the point, or we'll get to the station. Your choice.
The point, right, fine. Yes, the point. Okay, it's like this. When I was a kid, I was a big Washington Senators fan.
The police officer starts the car again.
This is Unit 58, 10-8 and 10-17 to the station.
Hey, what are you doing? Why are you starting the car again?
I said get to the point. You didn't. So now I'm getting to my point. You get it?
But my story. Don't you want to hear my story?
The police officer falls silent again.
The silent treatment again, huh? I'll just tell you anyway. How about that? I'm sure when you hear it, you'll agree with me. So, all right, when I was a kid, I was a big Washington Senators fan. You already heard that. So, you remember the team moved, right?
Lived here all my life.
So, you know then, the team was terrible. All those Washington teams were terrible. First in war, first in peace, last in the American League. All that. But they were our team, you know? And they were moving to Texas. They just ripped it all away from us, just like they did the Colts up in Baltimore. Same thing, only different, you know? Except instead of doing it in the middle of the night, here they had to play out the whole season. They had to play one last game. The last day of September 1971. And I was there. We all were. Man, you should have seen the place. It was just one big mob scene. There hadn't been a crowd like that, well, ever, I guess. Maybe that was the problem. Anyway, people were yelling and screaming and crying. Yeah, people were crying. I saw them, I swear. They had signs. I think somebody wanted to burn the owner in effigy, that kind of thing, you know. Are you listening to me? Because this is important.
Go on.
It's the 9th inning, top of the 9th. We're playing the Yankees, and we're winning 7-5. I remember that because the Senators never beat the Yankees, not even when the Yankees were having a down year. And the Senators always had a down year. So we had 2 outs, just 1 more to go. Talk about winning, going away. They were going to go out on a win. I don't know what made me do it. I don't know what made anybody do it. We could have just waited, you know. Except people started running out on the field. I guess they couldn't wait. They're tearing up the grass. They're getting handfuls of dirt from the infield. Heck, somebody even stole one of the folding chairs the ball boy sat on. I mean, what are you going to do with a folding chair? Put it in a corner and say, hey, this is the folding chair that the Senator's ball boy once sat in. That's stupid. Well, I mean, the whole thing was stupid, but that was really stupid. Except, I guess what I did was even more stupid, you know, but I was caught up in it all, you know, and I was just a kid, and I didn't know what I was doing. I can't remember now if somebody dared me to or not. All I know is I stole first base.
You stole first base?
Yeah.
The actual base?
Heck yeah, just pried it up and ran back into the stands. Everybody was hooting and hollering, and heck, security wasn't doing anything. I think they were too afraid that there was going to be a riot. They weren't worried about some stolen base. They were locking up all the ticket girls in the office. I heard later. I guess they thought we were going to burn the place down or something.
So you stole a base.
Made off with it pretty as you please.
You ever hear of something called the Statute of Limitations?
That's right. It's right back there.
That's what?
The first base you caught me with and put it in the trunk. It's the first base I stole.
From 1971.
From 1971.
What the hell are you doing walking around with that for? Trying to get yourself a match set or something?
No, I was trying to return it.
You were trying to return it. So that's why you had the bolt cutter and the screwdriver.
I didn't know how hard it was going to be.
Possession of burglary tools is a Class A misdemeanor. That's how hard it's going to be.
They're not burglary tools. They're just tools. Hell, how can they be burglary tools if I wasn't trying to burgle the place? I was trying to return something, so they're returning tools.
Waited long enough, didn't you?
It's a long story. I told you.
You could have just set the thing down on the sidewalk. You didn't have to climb the fence.
It doesn't work that way.
What do you mean it doesn't work that way? What's the matter? Law of gravity get repealed or something? You're going to set something down on the sidewalk and it floats up to the moon now?
No, I mean this first base. It's not an ordinary first base.
Gotten you into some extraordinary trouble, that's for sure.
I mean, it's haunted.
Haunted?
Haunted!
You know, you're a little early for April Fools, and a way late for Halloween.
But it's true, it's haunted. The thing's been nothing but trouble ever since I had it.
Uh-huh. Listen, no offense, pal, but you can save your sob story for when you get to court.
I don't know what it was at first. I just thought it was bad luck, you know? Things started happening. Or stopped happening, whichever. All I know is suddenly I'm not getting anywhere in school. I'm getting nowhere in life. Heck, I wasn't getting anywhere with the girls. You know how far I was able to get with the girls?
Don't tell me. First base.
Exactly. It's the age of free love, and well, never mind that. But finally, I decided to get rid of this thing. I'm driving downtown one night, and I just chuck it in a trash can outside some apartment building. You know what apartment building that was?
Does it matter?
Watergate. I caused Watergate. The thing caused Watergate.
I thought Nixon caused Watergate.
So I thought I was rid of it, you know? But no, it came back.
What are you talking about? How could it come back?
I don't know. All I know is I looked one day, and there it was, back in my room. I know it was the same one. I could tell. And that's what I knew. It was haunted. I tried every way I knew how to get rid of that thing. I took it over to Maryland and threw it into somewhere along the side of the road outside Annapolis.
Littering and?
Spiro Agnew resigned.
Not entirely a bad thing.
I threw it into the tidal basin.
And?
Remember Wilbur Mills and Fanny Fox?
Oh.
I tried to set fire to it. It wouldn't burn. My apartment complex did, but it didn't.
Interesting.
So then one day it hit me. It needed to go home. It needed to complete the cycle, you know? So I decided what I'd do. I'd take it to Texas. You know, reunite the base with the team, that kind of thing.
And?
Got as far as Memphis.
And?
Elvis.
Oh.
It's been like that ever since. I've tried everything I can to get rid of it, and every time something bad happens. Iran-Contra, that was me. Don't even ask me about the whole Monica Lewinsky thing. Bush versus Gore, tried to dump it in the Everglades. So I figure this has got to be it. We've got a new team coming to town. I mean, I know the Nationals aren't the Senators, but they're as close as we're going to get. So if I can't get it to stay there for them, I don't know what to do. Can you help me? Police are here to help people, right? Well, I need help.
The police officer stops the car.
What are you doing? You're stopping. Does that mean you're going to help me?
No, it means you're at the station. Watch your head when you get out.
But what about the first base? What about the team?
Team can take care of itself. But you're going to need a lawyer.
That was Somewhere Tonight, the Washington Senators' last game still plays on, by Dwayne Yancey. The part of the narrator was played by Kat Miller. The part of Ralph was played by Walter Lutsch. And the part of the police officer was played by Dave Matsui.
And before we go to our last script, we have an extra special sneak preview of a wonderful action movie that's coming out this summer. Enjoy!
This summer, in a world where the male population has been wiped out, one man stands as our last chance to repopulate the earth. And he's the last man you would have expected to be a flaming homosexual.
Lady, pink is so not your color. And by the way, what do you think of these plate patterns?
He's our only hope to escape extinction, and he's got better things to do.
Come on, didn't you hear? There's an end of the world sale at Macy's.
Now the women of the earth will have to conspire to seduce a man.
All right, girls. All the slim-cut jeans have been taken from the men's department.
He must have come this way.
Who's only interested in doing their nails.
Oh no, the Horny's back. Get in the pink Ferrari and let's get out of here.
This summer, grab your rhinestone-studded grenade launcher and prepare to be blasted away by the last gay man on Earth.
Welcome back, guys. For our last play of the evening, we've got
Rock Sword Firecracker by D.M. Larson, courtesy of freedrama.net.
A group of friends are playing rock, scissors, paper at a local tournament.
Rock, paper, scissors!
Unbeknownst to the children, an old man wearing a stereotypically Asian robes has entered the room. The boys continue to play until the old man interrupts them.
Stop!
They all freeze.
Who are you?
I am the master of the rock.
The master holds out his fist. The children look at each other and then laugh.
Well, I got paper.
Mel places his flat hand over the master's fist. The children laugh. Suddenly, the master grabs Mel's hand and throws Mel on the table. He sticks a finger to Mel's throat.
And I have sword.
There's no sword in rock, paper, scissors.
That is where you are mistaken. I am here to tell you the story of Rock, Sword, Firecracker.
I thought it was rock, paper, scissors.
You are wrong. The ancient game has been dishonored by scissors and paper. It is a mockery of the true art of the challenge. Shall I tell you the story?
Oh, sure.
If you wish to hear the story, you must say, "Yes, master."
Yes, master.
Say, "Pretty please."
Pretty please.
Pretty please with a cherry blossom on top.
Oh, come on.
Fine, I will tell you the story.
The master pulls out a stereotypical Asian-looking scroll. He flings open the scroll with a flick of his wrist. Bringing it up to his face, he peers over the top at the children as he begins.
It all began with the Rock.
You mean like the wrestler?
No, the Rock was a big, fat, lazy slob, but he was unmovable. He was a champion sumo wrestler because no one could move him. He won every match, and then he sent a challenge out to all warriors that no one could defeat him. So samurai and ninja from all over Asia came to fight him, but not even a sword could pierce his rock-like skin. But then a magician from a distant land came with a mighty weapon, a firecracker. No one had seen such a huge firecracker before. The magician faced off against the Rock. He lit the fuse and placed it at the Rock's feet. The Rock did not care. He did not think anything could defeat him. Suddenly there was a huge explosion. There were screams and cries of pain. And when the smoke cleared, the Rock had fallen. Everyone stood quietly and couldn't believe their eyes. A few began to cry. The magician's laugh broke the silence, and he pulled another, even bigger firecracker from his robes. The magician yelled, "I shall rid this land of the Rock forever!" He placed the firecracker next to the Rock and lit it. But then a young one, who was a big fan and collected all of the Rock's memorabilia, sprang into action. He snatched up a sword and swish, cut the fuse, saving the Rock from destruction.
Amazing.
Great story.
So I ask that you no longer dishonor the game with scissors and paper.
Yes, master.
We will, master.
The master bows and suddenly disappears in a cloud of smoke. The children turn to each other and shrug.
Ready?
Rock, sword, firecracker!
This is definitely more fun.
Rock, sword, firecracker!
The end. That was Rock, Sword, Firecracker by D.M. Larson, courtesy of freedrama.net. The part of Mel was played by Dave Matsui. The part of the narrator was played by Kat Miller. The part of the master was played by Walter Lutsch. And the part of Kelly was played by Katelin Tremonte.
Well, guys, that's all we've got. It's been fun getting to do the show, and thank you for listening in. From all of us here, we've just had a great time.
Yep, we've had a great long run, but we're signing off for the last time. I'm Walter Lutsch.
I'm David Matsui.
I'm Katelin Tremonte.
And I'm Kat Miller.
Good night, everyone.
Night.
Good night.
Whew, that was a long show.
My oxygen meter's almost out. This is it.
Hey guys, look over there.
Is that a stereotypically saucer-shaped alien spacecraft?
We intercepted your broadcast. It intrigued us. You will perform it on our home planet. Wow. I guess Falcon Radio Theatre is going to survive after all.
The end.